Okay. It's kind of funny. I'm waiting around for one person, but I guess it's a start. Let's see. So first off, I'm seeing a lot of negative signs for the market. Overnight, we gapped down and we're just hovering above this upper trend line looking for it to break. If this breaks, I expect us to fill this gap fill that's down here by the green line. Um, there might actually be a day trade in there with the market. So this is the SPY. It's just consolidating. It's a gap and go or a fall and go play. If this line breaks, we can expect some major sell-offs in the market. Um, I'm looking at that one and hoping that it will continue. Next up, I just want to browse over these real quick. Let's see. The VIX broke out like it did yesterday. Let's hope it closes up here for a higher breakout. Looks good for the market. It's on par with what the market looks like it wants to do. It wants to fall. It is way overdue for a pullback. Let's look at the US 10-year yield. Just consolidating down here with the 50 MA. Again, if this breaks to the upside, we see a lot of downside for the technology. And for oil, again, we broke out of the flag, still consolidating above it to see what happens. It looks strong. This double top might be something though. Something interesting about oil is that exactly 1 year ago we had a major sell-off where crude oil basically dropped $40 in a day, um, and the options market went negative. So if that cycle repeats, watch out oil. We have the IWM, which is the Russell 2000. It broke down in pre-market. So it is, well, I guess it's just holding the last support here for breaking down. If this breaks, we will see a lot of sell-off in the lower stocks. If this green line breaks, we can call this a top of the market, which is a perfect head and shoulder top. Let's take a look at the Qs. So I'm kind of surprised. Pre-market Qs are selling off hard. It actually broke down from the consolidation. So tech stocks are under pressure today. And hello, Finn. They we might see this green line and see some sort of a back test before continuing upwards, or if it breaks, we'll see way more downside. We see the same thing happening is in the SMH, which is semiconductors. Semiconductors broke down from the consolidation, but they still have not broken the uptrend. If the uptrend breaks, we'll see more downside. And like Nick Santiago likes to say, is that if semis are in trouble, the market is in trouble. Gold continues to do what is expected of it. It's just consolidating here as of now after the breakout, but that's normal after a big up day. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is really interesting. We had a sell-off overnight, but it's still holding those same levels. It keeps being bought up here. So we're going to have to continue to monitor and keep an eye on these lows. If these break down again, I expect to see lower levels, and I will be exiting the market on the pullback or the retrace in Bitcoin. XRP is, there's a lot of the same. So if Bitcoin breaks down, I expect it to go all the way down to 80 cents. before getting a retrace up, actually making higher highs. What I'm hoping is going to happen is that if Bitcoin maintains its levels now, we'll see some sort of a buyback in XRP above these green lines, and it'll consolidate here for a while, and it will be really, really boring until it finally breaks up, and we'll see a massive run to the upside. That is if history repeats itself. Same goes for ETC. As long as this line holds, I expect this actually to be climbing up a little while Bitcoin falls. If history repeats itself, but if not, I'll be exiting on the retrace in Bitcoin. We have DXY getting a small bounce, not anything significant. Because the rise in crypto and again the constant money printing, I expect this to continue a fall, but I do see some sort of a trend line here though. We might hit this trend line before we see some consolidation. Okay, let's go over the stocks that I found in pre-market this morning that could be potential swing trades or day trades. So the first one I found was MARA, which is this one. And I think it's obvious to see that yesterday it actually broke its uptrend. And it backtested this trend line for resistance, and now it's down in pre-market. So if this bottom line breaks, I see the small target is here at 28, but the big target is all the way down at $15, $16. So for a potential swing trade, with the market looking weak, if the market falls, this is a good setup with a stop like right over this 50 MA. Gives you really good risk reward. This I found and thought was one of the most beautiful bull flags I've seen in a while. It is OBLN, and it is consolidating in pre-market. So if we see a break of this top, I would enter a day trade, potentially to see this first target. If this breaks again, we'll see 580 and potentially a high all the way up in the tens again. This will happen fast though, because it's an explosive stock. Let's see, we also have the confirmation of it hitting support, finding a new support, which is good. It could also go back down and test this next support. So the reason why I like the setup is because we have three really good supports really close together. So it's a strong support. So it would be natural to have a stop loss right underneath these supports. Let's look at the SOS because of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has been selling off a little, and the media has been talking negatively about Bitcoin for a while now. But like we are expecting another short-term bounce in Bitcoin, this will also get a short-term bounce. So if it falls down here, I see two strong supports where I would like it to be. As of right now, we're just hovering above it. And again, I would set a stop loss down at $3 and have a target at $6, which gives you a great risk reward. Could even get all the way up to the 50 MA at 650. Okay, today's 420. So for all those weed people out there, congratulations. I'm not really sure what you say on 420, but the first stock I have here on the watch list was Tilray. Well, I have SNDL too, but we'll take a closer look at that one when we go over the day trades. So Tilray is still not hitting these supports like SNDL has, but because of 420, we might see a short-term bounce, and I would probably enter on a break here, like it did in pre-market. If it can consolidate here and break up, I would enter with a target of 25.50. If that breaks again, about $30. Looking at ACB again, we've had some success in ACB before. It has sold off a lot since then. We have a strong support coming in here down at $7. So if we see sell-off, it's a good add for a swing trade. Today, we could see some sort of a short-term bounce, but there's a lot of, so I would stay away from ACB. CGC is kind of in the same boat. It's flagging. Targets will be the 50 MA. If we break the consolidation, it's really looking a lot like Tilray. One big trade that we saw that In the Money Stocks posted, I agreed with, was this. It's the NIO, and we saw that Tesla had some negative news coming out overnight. They had some cars crash with no drivers. They're claiming that it was not the autonomous driving system that made this happen, that it was it was not activated when this happened, but it will still cause some scaring of the market. Tesla is now in the S&P 500, so that might also be why that price is down today. The other EV stocks could react differently to this news, but it will put the EV stocks in play today. So if we see a break of this bear flag down and the 200 MA, I expect first target to be down here at 30, and then the second target to be down here at 22. So it could be a really cool short before we can get a better price for a long-term hold in NIO. I also liked the look of Plug. Plug's been selling off a lot. We tried to exit a lot of Plug when we were up here. Didn't have a lot, but a little. And I've been looking to get back into it. So where I want to get back into it is here down at $20. And now it's closing in hard on that. If we get a hard sell-off, we can enter at 20 and have a target all the way up at the 50 MA. So we can basically double our money in hopefully a short time. Not the best trade if we see a market crash, though. If the lower support of SPY holds, then I would like to accumulate longs. If we see either one, this hold or this hold, I'd like to accumulate longs. If not, I'd try to stay away. I'm keeping an eye on SPEC, Virgin Galactic, simply because it's had a hard sell-off. I have not found a really clear level yet. But if we get an oversold condition like we do now, I'd be able to, or I'd be willing to buy some of it down here around 17.50 if we sell off right away. If not, I'd try to stay away. It's not clear to me exactly where it wants to go. VIOC, we keep waiting on VIOC. It keeps getting rejected by this trend line, keeps going lower. But we have some stronger support levels down here, which are the last support levels before there was nothing, all the way down to all-time lows. So but keep it in mind, it has to bounce at some point. It's way overdue for a bounce. Let's get in and look at the day trades. Let's take another look at SPY. Yeah, if this breaks up, expect to have a gap close and then hopefully a smaller sell-off. If not, it would be cool to play this breakdown in SPY. Then we have the MARA trade. If you remember, this was the uptrend that was broken and back tested yesterday for a resistance and is now selling off again. If this blue line breaks, we'll be entering a short trade with the stop of yesterday's high. I think it's a really good risk reward. especially with the market looking like it does. Um, OBLN is the flag. So if we see a gap close consolidation and break upwards is when I would love to enter this trade. When momentum really gets going on this, it really goes. And here, let's talk about the SNDL. Has been consolidating here at the highs. I don't really like that because it's kind of overdue again for some sort of a consolidation or a back test. But we'll see. There might be some momentum to the upside. If, however, it drops down and gets to the 88-cent level, which was yesterday's support, then I would enter a long position because it's 420 and we will see some sort of a movement in the weed market. To me, it all seems like a sell the news event. So after today, we might see some selling in weed. And Dogecoin is also in that same boat. After 420, if people see that the price is not going to rise as much as that they wanted it to do, if it's not going to reach $1 like they're expecting it to, then a lot of people will be selling, and it might cause panic selling. NIO had a huge bear flag, so it's consolidating now in something that's looking like a rising trend. If this breaks, I would enter a small position, and then for every consolidation that breaks down, I would keep adding until either the trend changes or we see targets when this bottom breaks. Okay, let's finish off by looking over the hot list. So what I like about today is that we can see this is a list for where we have the most volume in the market. On the top, we have SNDL, obviously because it's 420. And then when we look down, we have UVXY, and this is the basically VXX, but twice leveraged. So people are buying VXXs, VXX like ETFs because they expect a market drop, and when market drops, these things go crazy. Full disclosure, I'm in this. So I also expect a fall to happen. We have SPY volume, which is good in pre-market. I don't think it's gonna do anything crazy. Obviously, I'm hoping so, but we'll see. So we have SOS, and yeah, and that's it. This is usually where I find the stocks that I want to trade in the morning. KSU had news, but it's not news that will affect the stock positively long term. At least not in my opinion, but we'll see. We have the SQQ is also up here, which is the short ETF of the QQQs, probably because the QQQs broke down last night or this morning. So this should be going up. Okay, I'll finish it off there. Thank you for watching.